Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Today we're looking at stock. The big question is it a good time to buy now?
We want to hear from you. Subscribe, like, and comment to support the show. And if there's a specific company you want us to look into, leave it in the comments below. We've taken a stack of your research articles and analyst notes on stock, and our mission today is really to distill those key nuggets of knowledge so you know exactly why this company is, well, generating so much buzz right now.
So let's get into the analysis. Stock operates at a really foundational level in the AI industry. You could say they're the infrastructure enabler. Their core business isn't building the flashy chatbots everyone talks about. It's the crucial, highly specialized work. Things like AI data preparation, training, and critically validating the complex models that drive generative AI and increasingly agentic AI.
Right. So if AI models are the engine.
Exactly. Stock provides the bespoke, high-octane fuel they need to run properly.
Okay, and when you look at the financials, wow, the story seems to stop being just a growth story and becomes more like a momentum explosion, doesn't it?
It really does.
Usually you see these small-cap AI growth plays burning cash like crazy trying to scale up. But what's fascinating here, and you pointed this out, is that stock is actually converting its explosive top-line growth into genuine net profit. That feels like a massive differentiator in this sector.
It absolutely is. The Q2 2025 results were a genuine blowout. Revenue soared an unprecedented 79% year over year. Just huge numbers.
I think it's 9%.
Yeah, hitting $58.4 million. And this wasn't just like cyclical growth. Our sources are pretty clear this acceleration was driven specifically by new, robust demand for specialized AI data services and, importantly, major new customer wins with established global tech leaders.
Okay, 79% growth is, well, it's insane. But help me understand this analytical point. How can a smaller company in such a competitive, seemingly labor-intensive space translate that growth into $42.69 million in trailing 12-month net income, an EPS of $1.28? What's the infrastructure advantage there? How are they monetizing this while their peers are still so heavily loss-making?
Well, it really points to two things. First, high scalability in their proprietary data platform. It's efficient. And second, those established, likely high-margin contracts that lock in these large tech clients for, long durations.
Oh, okay. Sticky customers.
Exactly. And the result is management confidence. I mean, following that massive Q2 beat, they immediately raised their 2025 full-year organic revenue growth guidance. Now they're saying 45% or more.
45% or more. Still very strong.
Very strong. Now, that $1.28 trailing EPS figure you mentioned is important because analyst consensus for 2025 is actually lower. It's closer to $0.74. That's a pretty big gap. Does that suggest analysts are maybe skeptical they can keep those margins up? Or are they just being overly conservative about that inevitable reinvestment drag you mentioned?
It seems to be largely the latter. They definitely have the financial firepower for aggressive reinvestment. I mean, the balance sheet looks robust. They've got $59.8 million in cash, minimal debt exposure that provides ample liquidity.
So they can afford it.
They can afford to sacrifice a bit of near-term margin to really secure that future dominance. They're playing the long game.
Okay. And speaking of future dominance, that brings us to maybe the most interesting structural advantage. Their move beyond the current hype cycle.
Yes.
They aren't just riding the generative AI wave, are they? They're already positioning themselves in these high-growth frontier areas.
That's precisely where the moat gets really serious. They are focusing heavily on agentic AI, and we should probably be clear about what that means for listeners.
Good point. Agentic AI models aren't just about analyzing data. They're designed to autonomously execute complex, multi-step tasks. Things like managing an entire supply chain or operating advanced robotics.
Wow, okay. So much more complex.
Much more. And training these sophisticated systems requires entirely bespoke, high-quality, specialized data sets. You can't just scrape this stuff from the public internet. It needs to be perfect.
So stock is becoming like the bespoke, maybe Michelin-starred chef, preparing the perfect specialized ingredients to make sure their AI clients' outputs are flawless and reliable.
That's a great analogy, exactly. And that specialization creates a really deep moat. The barriers to entry here are genuinely high. You've got the technical complexity, the really stringent quality requirements from these Fortune 50 clients, and crucially, the established relationship stock already has with the biggest tech firms in the world. They seem to have locked in those high-value contracts needed for the next AI evolution.
Okay, it's clear the fundamentals and the strategic positioning look really strong. But The investment picture isn't complete without looking at how the market is actually pricing all this momentum. Let's maybe pivot to the technical analysis.
Yeah, good idea. So technically, the stock is in a sustained bullish uptrend. You can see it posting consistent higher lows and higher highs. That confirms solid investor confidence. It's the kind of trend traders love to see, right? Shows sustained accumulation, not just a random spike.
And that accumulation seems confirmed by key support levels too, right? Because the stock is trading well above its 50-day simple moving average, which sits around $62.42,
Hmm.
and significantly above its long-term 200-day SMA at $47.77. Those look like pretty strong technical anchors supporting the current price.
They are. But here's a key piece of information, especially for anyone thinking about an entry point now. Despite the enormous run-up we've been discussing, the 14-day relative strength index, the RSI, is actually neutral right now. It's sitting around 33.8.
Neutral, so not overbought yet.
Exactly. That's low enough to suggest the recent momentum hasn't created an immediate bubble. It potentially indicates maybe a healthy pause or even a pullback, which could offer a viable entry window. It's definitely not showing a classic overbought condition where you'd expect an imminent crash.
Interesting. And the analyst community seems to see continued upside potential too. The consensus rating right now is a strong buy across multiple sources we looked at.
Yeah, pretty uniform there.
And the 12-month average price target sits attractively at $91.67. That represents what, about an 18% upside from the recent close, around $73.90? We've even seen some pretty ambitious targets pushing up towards $110. That shows some serious conviction in the company's ability to execute on that guidance.
It does, but, and this is a really important, but we absolutely must issue a serious caution regarding volatility.
Ah, yes, the roller coaster potential.
Exactly. This is a high-octane technology play, no doubt about it. The stock clocks in with an elevated beta of 2.96. So for the listener, what that means is when the broader technology market moves 1%, stock theoretically moves almost 3%, either up or down.
So you need a strong stomach.
You absolutely must be prepared for amplified price swings. The volatility is measured at an elevated 10.87%, which signals a very real risk for, capital preservation during market downturns.
Okay, that high volatility connects directly to the risks then.
Yeah.
And there's one primary concern flagged repeatedly in our sources that really needs our full attention: client concentration.
Yeah, that is the critical factor that definitely tempers some of the exuberance. It's true. Stock generates a large, though undisclosed, share of its revenue from just a handful of marquee global technology customers.
Right.
Now, when you're growing at 79%, those big contracts are fantastic, obviously.
Right.
But the flip side is, if those major clients, let's say 3 or 4 of the largest, decide to reduce spending, maybe because of their own budget cycles, or worse, if one of them decides to try and insource its data preparation capabilities.
Then the impact on stock's revenue stream could be material and pretty immediate.
Exactly. It's a vulnerability.
Has management articulated how they're managing that or trying to mitigate it?
Well, they do have a stated diversification strategy. They emphasize going after smaller contracts, broadening their market exposure. But structurally, the heavy reliance on those big anchor clients remains a significant company-specific risk factor. It's kind of the necessary trade-off for having those highest quality, most lucrative contracts right now.
Makes sense. Okay, we touched on the reinvestment drag earlier, that gap between the trailing EPS and what analysts expect. Maybe let's just define that clearly for the listener, because it sounds like it's more of a strategic risk, not necessarily a flaw.
Precisely. That's a good way to put it. To maintain that edge in agentic AI and just keep pace with the hyperspeed evolution of the whole sector, they have to aggressively reinvest. That means R&D, attracting top talent, upgrading technology platforms. It's all essential. But yes, it could temporarily moderate their margin expansion.
So they're spending money to make money later.
Exactly. They are strategically sacrificing some short-term EPS right now to buy market share and secure the high-end talent they need to really solidify their position for, say, 2027 and beyond.
And I suppose we can't ignore just basic execution risk either. Managing 79% growth, that requires pretty flawless operations.
True. Rapid scaling and constant technology shifts always present operational challenges, talent management challenges, even if, to be fair, they seem to have navigated them effectively so far.
Okay, so we've established the picture. Explosive fundamentals, a potentially massive strategic moat in next-gen AI, balanced by high volatility and that acute client concentration risk. So the final piece of the puzzle is timing. What are the near-term catalysts? What could drive the price higher now?
Right. So the most obvious and probably significant immediate catalyst is the upcoming Q3 2025 earnings release. That's scheduled for November 6th, 2025. After that massive Q2 beat, expectations are extremely high for continued strong year-over-year growth.
So that date is key.
Absolutely. Any positive surprise there, especially any confirmation of more big contracts in that agentic AI vertical we talked about, will likely move the stock dramatically. That date is critical for anyone considering, even a short-term trade.
And we also saw a significant amount of buzz coming out of that recent Gen AI summit they hosted back on October 9th, didn't we?
We did. That event was really focused on showcasing new products and hinting at potential high-value partnerships.
And that kind of activity often translates into formal market-moving announcements later, right? Like press releases or maybe 8K filings.
Exactly. You'd expect those potentially in the following quarter, so likely hitting the wire sometime in November or maybe December. Keep an eye out for those.
Okay. And then on the more speculative side, but potentially high impact, there are persistent rumors about potential M&A interest, aren't there?
There are, though unconfirmed, of course. But given their specialized AI infrastructure capabilities and those deep relationships with the global tech giants, they really are a logical acquisition target for, say, a major cloud hyperscaler looking to own that crucial data preparation vertical outright.
Right. If any substantive evidence of a serious collaboration or, heaven forbid, an actual acquisition surfaces, that would almost certainly send the stock soaring.
No doubt. And one more thing for those tracking institutional money. November and December will bring crucial data points. We'll see the institutional 13F filings, which disclose how major hedge funds and mutual funds position themselves back in Q3. Plus, year-end portfolio rebalancing is likely to favor them as their rising market cap makes them relevant for inclusion in larger funds and indexes. So, more potential buyers coming in.
Okay. So wrapping this all up, what does this mean for the listener considering an entry point right now? What's the bottom line?
Well, the overall thesis is strongly bullish. If we had to put a number on it, maybe a 9 out of 10 rationale here. It's really supported by those explosive fundamentals, the massive earnings outperformance we saw, and strong analyst conviction that's focused on that structural demand for agentic AI data.
Mhm.
It just seems highly positioned to capture continued acceleration in the AI infrastructure space.
The story is definitely compelling, but I guess the question for you, the listener, to really consider is this. Is the inherent known risk of that client concentration worth the potential 18% upside before the November 6th earnings report? Or perhaps, should you wait for a potential post-earnings pullback to get maybe more confirmation on the scale of their agentic AI progress before committing capital? Ultimately, that decision depends entirely on your personal risk tolerance for that high beta volatility we discussed.